Good morning from beautiful Australia. Have a little look around you, people, and just be so grateful and aware of what you have, who you are, and how beautiful this life is. Anyway, welcome to my channel. My name's Sammy, and I believe love is the answer to everything. So I haven't really talked that much about my book, and that was the whole purpose of me setting up this channel, was to discuss different parts of my book, because I really need to attract a following so that hopefully a publisher will be even more willing to publish my book. Anyway, so I'm going to have a little bit of a chat about that, but knowing me, my chats turn into long. Hopefully it's interesting. Anyway, so obviously my book's still not published, and that's okay, because firstly, I believe that everything is exactly as it's meant to be, so I accept that it hasn't happened yet. Secondly, I really haven't dedicated enough time to spending time to find myself a literary agent, and that's because I've been quite busy with other things that have really needed my attention at the moment. So I forgive myself, but I realise I do have to assign more time to spending to dedicate to my book. Thirdly, I also feel that when you get close to accomplishing something, it's like hurdles appear, and well, that's what I've always said, and certainly I feel like I'm having lots of distractions. I notice each week, or at the end of a week, I'll think, okay, this is what I'm going to do next week. And then at the beginning of the week, all these other things happen. And, that's about me choosing myself and prioritizing. But certainly lately, I have had to do some things that were unavoidable. Anyway, so my book, I've titled it The Key, but doesn't mean that's what it would be called, because if a publishing house picks it up, they may completely want to change the name. So for here now, it's The Key. The key is basically a gift that we all have, a gift that is the underlying theme in my book. My book is my personal experiences about my spiritual awakening, which began a few years ago, and it's that period that my book is about. So an awakening, it seems, often may happen after something traumatic. So it might be that you've had a health scare or a health issue, the passing of a loved one, a car accident, you might have gone through a mental breakdown, but pretty much any event that is so unexpected that appears to be the catalyst for a spiritual awakening. For myself, I had a couple of events in a very short space of time. The first being the end of a 20-year relationship with my former partner, and the second involving a person who I call my twin flame, again the ending of another significant relationship. Both of these relationship endings were transformative lessons for me, in that I had to choose myself. Well, I decided to choose myself first, instead of putting others before me. I was no longer going to be my former self. Through these endings, I know I was stepping forward, and I was on a mission of self-healing and transformation to become the best version of myself that I could be. I found through standing up for myself, I respected myself. I simply chose to remove myself from anyone who didn't respect me or value my best interests. I valued myself, and so 2 very significant relationships ended. It was far from easy, and at times it was heartbreaking, and people close to me would have seen me as having an emotional breakdown. I saw myself as having a spiritual breakthrough, an awakening. As difficult and heart-rending as it was at times, I was able to heal myself by removing the layers of protection that were long-edged patterns of thinking and behaviour developed to prevent emotional pain. However, I learnt that these layers didn't protect in the long run. They were a coping mechanism to escape and hide. They prevented love. They prevented the love from being able to flow. I've learnt so much about love, and this is also an ongoing pursuit of mine, because to love is to love without condition. unconditional love, and that begins with ourself. But because of this desire to commit myself to love, I was grateful for everything that I went through. I loved each day, mostly. And I discovered the true meaning and feeling of freedom. I knew I was amazing, and I noticed the most amazing intricacies of nature almost every day. I was awake to the universe. I was falling in love with myself and the universe, life, the wonder of it all. I still am. Every day I declare to myself how beautiful life is. I am truly blessed, simply because I realised. Anyway, my book, that's what I meant to be going on about. So my awakening had actually begun around 2019 that I'm aware of. But at that time, although some amazing things were happening to me, I wasn't aware that they were the telltale signs of an awakening. I just thought I was discovering talents that had lay dormant, which was true to a degree, but I wasn't aware of the connection of gifts and spiritual awakening. It was the tower moments, the metaphorical slaps in the face that it took for me to wake up and eventually connect the dots. So this is what my book is about, except it probably sounds a bit harsh here and maybe not so pleasant. Thankfully, when I wrote the book, I was really into healing myself, as I still am, but I wrote it from a beautiful viewpoint. And I still have that beautiful view, but I've learnt so much more since then. So my view is expanded beyond where I saw before. Maybe that's another book. Anyway, I have recently promised to myself that I will dedicate more time toward my book getting published, and so I will continue with this channel because I've really been enjoying creating the content for it. I do need a hell of a lot more followers though, and that's really because I need to prove that I have people interested in my book. And, you know, I'm not saying people have to, but I just think that I will attract what I'm meant to attract at the right time. Anyway, so please share my videos to your friends if you think that they may be helpful or assist anyone along their awakening, or they might have some life-changing questions. I'm only too happy to help. Please leave messages on the videos or any others of mine that you've watched, and you know, maybe something's triggered from it. Please let me know. I'd love to hear if you're willing to share. Otherwise, I really do hope you all have a wonderful day. Thanks for listening, and I'm Sammy, and love is the answer. Ciao.